Am I the asshole for telling my son I have no plans to motivate or support him after he is an adult? My oldest kid is a good kid, but kind of lazy. His mom has always protected him. She has her reasons. Her first husband and child passed away about 22 years ago. 2 years after that we met, fell in love, got married, and had a kid. Unfortunately for me, our son's birth was a catalyst for a regression for her. He could do no wrong. If I tried to punish or even just correct him, she would get upset and start crying or fight with me. If he found something difficult and I wanted him to work through it or try harder, she would step in and tell me to back off, or actually just do it for him. This led to our divorce. I wanted to be a father and not a spectator. She fought, so I wouldn't get custody. I ended up with visitation. My kid wouldn't do anything though. He wouldn't bring his homework over, and all he wanted to do was play video games. If I didn't let him, he had tantrums. It was exhausting, and she would always back him up. It was always my fault. I remarried to my wife Diane. We have 2 children, and are doing our best to raise them right. My son stopped coming over when he was 14. I still invite him, but he rarely responds. My child support just stopped. His mom has been giving it to him to do whatever he wanted for the last 3 years. Not my problem. He called me to see if I could help him with money. I asked what for. He said that his mom can't give him the allowance he is used to. I asked if he was going to be attending some sort of post-secondary school. He said no. I told him to get a job. His mom has lost her shit. She said she will take me back to court so her poor baby can live his life his way. I wished for the odds to be ever in her favor and hung up. Now that he is an adult, I never have to talk to her again. It's too bad because I loved her very much. Not anymore. My son asked me to help him find a job. I said I would. I told him to send me his resume. I've been waiting 3 weeks for it. He called me yesterday to see if I had made any progress on finding him a job. I said he never sent me his resume. He got upset that I hadn't reminded him. It was one thing. I told him that I was not going to motivate him to do anything, that I would be here if he needed help, but that it would never be money again. I let him come over and helped him with a resume. I also talked to him about the trades or a community college. He is beginning to understand how his future is now that his mom cannot do everything for him. He is upset with his mother now because he doesn't have life skills. She is mad at me for showing him the truth. Not the asshole. At least your son is beginning to realize the downside of having someone following you around and wiping your backside all your life. He's behind the curve, but he can turn it around if he wants. I let him come over and helped him with a resume. I also talked to him about the trades or a community college. He is beginning to understand how his future is now that his mom cannot do everything for him. He is upset with his mother now because he doesn't have life skills. Well, some of that anger is misplaced. Your son was happy as a clam living on Easy Street. The light bulb in his head turned on when the source of his generous allowance dried up. He went to school, his classmates had jobs, and were applying to colleges and universities while he was playing video games. TBF, it sounds like he just turned 18 or just finished school of child support, just stopped. He's young and hasn't ever been taught any different. Think of it like people who grow up in a cult. They don't know that what they've been taught is a lie until they step outside when they grow up. He needs to be deprogrammed from being entitled. It happens to plenty of teenagers when the real world hits. Exactly. It's comical when the parents don't understand why said child didn't suddenly become a prudent adult exactly 3 hours after their 18th birthday. Not the asshole. At least it seems he starts realizing life is for him to manage. I know people who are almost 40 and still count on their mom to solve their problems. Not the asshole. Sounds like mom wanted a lifetime of codependency. Son is breaking free. Will be hard for him, but money is not the only issue, as I'm sure you know. I hope he is in therapy to work on the mental game. In therapy, I learned about a concept called the glass wall. Basically, you're in a glass box. You can see everyone around you, but you can't get out. You can make suggestions or tell people what to do, but since you can't get out, you can't make them do anything. The only person you can control is yourself. I feel like you understand the glass wall. You're trying to help him in the ways that make sense to you. In the past, you tried to guide him, but ultimately he made his own decisions. Now he has to deal with them. In my mind, you're not the asshole. Not at all. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.